Spoiler Man. Who's doing this to you, Spoiler Man?
Can you hear me? I'm here to spoil episodes 3 and 4 of WandaVision!
This is spoiler.
I wanted to like that, and I did.
It got a little long there. It was hard to keep the energy up, to be honest. But here we are recording on episodes 3 and 4 of WandaVision. I'm pumped to get into it. So let's quickly, west to east, who you are, where you're recording from, and who's your favorite Avenger.
So hard.
Happy that's you.
This is Pappy, recording from Louisville, Colorado. Listen to the first episode of WandaVision you guys did. I'm like, that sounds pretty good. And I watched all 4 episodes last night. Got totally sucked in.
Hell yeah.
Love to have you.
Favorite Avenger? I'm going to go with the Avenger played by Bradley Cooper and say Rocket Raccoon. I really like the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's not one that you usually think of right away, but he's silly. I like him.
Rabbit. Good pick. PK, you're up next.
This is superhero correspondent or swear correspondent PK, according to BK.
Oh, bad blood.
Man, you know my favorite Avenger is Spider-Man. I can't even try to pick somebody else, so gotta go with my boy Peter Parker.
Who's your favorite non-honorary member? Because he's kind of just knighted in unofficially, really.
In the movies he is. That's from the MCU besides Spider-Man. I don't know, I'd probably go with Thor. I love Thor, he's awesome. Even fat Thor.
Nice.
Brett, I thought you were up.
He's the host.
Okay, this is Brett, recording from Fort Wayne. Man, I always struggle to answer this question, so I will go with the cutest Avenger by far, and I'll go with Baby Groot.
That's a good one.
He's a cute boy. This is Josh, your host. I am, to Brett's point, a little more weast than him, but I think I like Thor, too. I'm kind of new to these MCUs, but I like that he's kind of the MCU Superman. He's actually kind of stronger than Superman, actually, but...
No, he's not. He's not.
Anyway, let's talk about episodes 3 and 4 of WandaVision. I
just gotta say,
yes,
before you jump into it, I love how much you're into the MCU now. You're throwing out Rocket Raccoon Rabbit references. You texted me last night,
it's good stuff.
Super late at night. You're like, it was 8 o'clock. No, it was 8 o'clock my time. And you're about to throw on Endgame. I'm like, dude, that's a 3.5 hour movie.
Wait, hold on, Josh. 2 questions. 1, did you finally watch Endgame?
Yeah.
And 2,
Did you cry?
Oh, dude. Oh man, I didn't cry, but
no,
I choked up. Okay. Have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
Yes.
Okay. So funny.
He's all about it now. He's hosting the WandaVision podcast. I love it.
Can't believe it. He's finally come around.
It's his new Star Wars.
Way better than Star Wars. Always has been.
I don't know what to say to your guys' points, but I am pumped to talk about WandaVision. Can we please do it? Is that okay?
Please.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Pappy, this episode 3, Elizabeth Olsen's character, Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, she goes through all of pregnancy, basically, right?
It's pretty hilarious. It's all, I guess, set in a 70s sitcom vibe. There's the brick wall and the staircase, from the Brady Bunch. All they're missing is that statue of a horse, and it would have been absolutely perfect. But I don't know. Yeah, it feels like a very classic TV trope-y episode too, right? Because you have the nervous Vision husband and everything. They try and she's trying to hide her pregnancy and stuff. Do you think the babies, PK, will outlast the show? I saw some people speculating on that these babies will become part of the MCU now.
I've seen a couple different theories. They could be kind of the intro to mutants into the MCU, or I've also heard something about one of the main villains, like Mephisto or somebody that kind of that's how they get into the real world, or become a part of personifying themselves into the kids somehow. And I mean, it's Billy and Timmy are the true names of her kids in the comics. So
yeah,
isn't it Tommy,
whatever, you know what I mean?
If they were to come into the real world, though, PK, who would they say their mother is Wanda and their father is WandaVision? Wanda's version of Vision impregnating her. That's weird, right?
It is weird. Yeah, it's that's kind of one of those things. It's like I don't even know. They could go with a bunch of different directions in that, but who knows if they'll make it out to the real world at this point, because she obviously doesn't want to leave.
Right. BK, why don't you fill us in on Vision's side of the plot? Because, like Pappy said, he's getting like nervous, but there's also these issues with the neighbors.
Yeah, he's getting nervous. Let's see, one thing at a time. Another trope that they use, and it's kind of a movie trope as well, but like the doctor that's there, they're planning to have, and the doctor just is gone. You know, he's not around when the babies are. But now this is another one of those things where they kind of take that trope and smash it, like with the beds. It's like, oh, well, Vision's just going to go grab him. So he goes and gets the doctor. The neighbors are acting super weird. Like he can kind of hear them talking about Geraldine. And they say something super weird, like she has no family. She's here because we are. And then like they kind of like stop.
Howdy, neighbors.
Howdy.
Remarkable day we're having. No? Did you lose power too?
Oh, sure did. But Ralph looks better in the dark, so I'm not complaining.
I hope.
Hey, buddy.
Well, I'll get back to Wanda.
Vision. Is Geraldine inside with Wanda?
Yes, why?
She's new to town. Brand new.
There's no family. No husband.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No home.
What do you mean she has no home?
She came here because... She came here because we're all...
She came here because we're all what? What are you trying to tell me?
It's weird. It kind of had like a Get Out vibe to me. Not Get Out, Us vibe, where they were just kind of like almost zombified just there just to...
Yeah, he's like glitching out. He's like supposed to be shearing the bushes, and the shear is like halfway through the cement brick wall divider.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Vision kind of calls him out on it, and he's just like, yeah, you're right. Thanks, man. And he just stares and smiles at him, but keeps drilling more into the freaking brick wall. It's like if they would change the music, it could be like a straight up Black Mirror episode or like a horror scene.
It is kind of unsettling just the way it's shot and captured. We don't know her full backstory yet, but Captain Monica Rambeau, Geraldine inside of WandaVision, she's like a new character that's really prominent in this episode. And these first 3 episodes, we get this moment towards the end where things aren't going Wanda's way, right? And this seems to be surrounding Geraldine in this one.
Mm-hmm. Right when Vision leaves, he's like, oh, you'll be fine until I come back. You get a visit from Geraldine, and she just barges her way in. Wanda's going through contractions and trying to hide her pregnancy, and then they have like a funny scene with the stork. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that. That was pretty good. But yeah, to flash forward a little bit, she helps Wanda deliver at least the first kid. Then it turns out to be twins. But yeah, then she makes the comment of like, Wanda kind of opens up to her and is like, I was a twin. And it like, you see her on her face, she's like, kind of has like a moment of realization, but kind of like a confused look. And she's like,
I'm a twin. I had a brother. His name was Pietro.
He was killed by Ultron, wasn't he?
So good. That was so cool.
That's the first like true link to the MCU like pass, which was super, super cool.
Did you guys think she was bad in that moment? Like I don't know if I was supposed to pick up on the whole sword thing, but yeah, I thought she was like straight up evil at that point. I was like, oh, no way.
I don't know if I thought she was bad, because I mean, you kind of see it at the end of the episode 4, but it's more like Wanda's the bad guy.
It just got really eerie. I think that's maybe what we were picking up on. Like, I know who she is. I know she's a character, a Marvel character, but, I don't know if she's really that person or if they're just using her as a block of clay for some dream sequence or whatever. I don't really know. That's why I thought maybe she was bad, but...
She's Captain America's lesbian's friend.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel's daughter, right? From that movie?
Yes.
Grown up?
Maria Rambeau.
Yes.
Josh, have you seen Captain Marvel?
I've not, but I have listened to the spoilers episode.
Good episode. Features PK.
No, I don't think I was on that one.
Wait,
I think
really?
I missed out. I think I missed out on that one.
I think I was on it.
This is the thrillingness content for our listeners.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Something
Sorry,
else about this episode though too. This show has been like perfectly paced. I think we'll get into like in the next one too. Like it was like right about time to pull out of that like format, and they did it perfectly. But like
Never pull out.
I was so glad this one was in color after the two black and whites. I know they teased it out at the end of two, but like when the aspect ratio opens up at the end of this, when Agent Rambeau or whatever gets kicked out of
the double aspect ratio change.
It looks so cool. Like it got me so excited. Like it was such a perfect ending to the episode.
Did Pappy, have you listened to our first episode?
I listened to it before I watched the show, so I didn't like understand a lot of it, but it was enough to get me like excited. Like all I remember taking away was like old TV shows. So I was like, oh, I could get into that.
I know where Brett's going with, yeah.
Because we were like geeking out on the black and white, and we were saying, man, we wish the show would slow down. So it's kind of funny that you're like the exact opposite of what we were. Like we were all like me, Josh, and Corey, and probably PK. We were all like, man, we could watch like a whole season of them in the 50s, and then like a whole season of them in the 60s. Just because we dug it so much. It's not like we're not saying it'd be a better show that way. It's just like we were like so digging the vibe of it that we thought, like even Josh was like, man, I really wish they'd slow down. Like it's bumming me out that they're already going to be in the 70s, and we like all kind of agreed, and we really liked the 50s and 60s black and white set. So I'm not saying that 3 and 4 weren't awesome. It's just kind of funny that you talk about the pacing and the color, and we were geeking out about the other stuff.
Honestly, I could unironically watch like an actual sitcom like this. You know what I mean? Like a 20 episode. Yeah, I would love that. That'd be great.
We were in for like the corny jokes. Like we didn't even need like the Marvel stuff. We could watch them go through all those tropes. Like we thought it was that good. So we get that. That's funny.
But I think part of it too is like the quicker pacing is like, I mean, I haven't heard for sure, but I don't think they're planning on making this like a quote unquote series. I think this is like going to be a one-off.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Season potentially, just because it's kind of leading into Phase 4 and it's going to connect with the new Marvel movies. I would like to see more of each genre, but
yeah.
One thing that we talked about last episode was the intros and how cool they were, and I loved the WandaVision in color.
Yeah.
Intro. It was so good.
Got something cooking intro themes. Very fun. Good stuff.
Hey, it's your Pappy here to tell you about a brand new sponsor of Spoilers, Wild.Gallery. That's WYLD.GALLERY. Now, Brett's been the one coordinating the sponsors on the podcast, and he sent me a message the other day. He said, hey, I've got this Native American art gallery based out of Austin, Texas, who's interested in sponsoring Spoilers. And I said, what? Why? And he sends over the URL, WYLD.Gallery. And so I get on there just to see what the website's all about, and I end up spending an hour scrolling through their shop tab. Now, it's a kind of an infinite scroll that you can go through, and you'll see some amazing pieces of art. I'm looking at it right now. I see some psychedelic Native American pieces of work. There's some Star Wars stuff, a lot of Western-inspired themes, family themes. And the best part about it is you're not only, getting yourself a cool piece of artwork, you're also supporting Native American artists, real Native American artists. And, 2020 was a really hard year for everybody. It was especially a hard year for artists who depend on, art shows and festivals and fairs to sell their art. So if you're interested in seeing some really cool Native American art, if you're interested in buying some amazing posters, prints, landscapes, you name it, I went on there. I actually bought myself a poster for less than $30, and I dare you to get on WYLD.Gallery and not buy something. That's wild.gallery, and make sure you tell them that Spoilers sent you.
We've got something cooking and it's looking good.
I think in hindsight, we'll see these first 3 episodes as kind of a trilogy where you really are inside these TV shows, because episode 4, we pop out and we're not in quote WandaVision anymore. Pappy, I'm going to throw this to you because you were the only spoiler man on movie review number 25 the usual suspects. How does the reveal here measure up to Kaiser Sose?
Kaiser Sose.
He's gone.
Give me the key, you fucking cocksucker. Yeah. So first of all, the intro to this, because like I said, I don't know, I'm not as well versed in the MCU, so like I hear character names and I don't think, oh, it could be this person from this. I'd like Google that later, and that's what I have PK for. So I thought that Agent Rambeau was a bad guy, like, and I'm literally just like binging these episodes like, holy shit, like she just got captured by someone, or like it's just like the bad guys like bailing her out, and then we like go back in time to the blip when people start coming back, and like we saw it in Spider-Man Homecoming and it was silly.
Far From Home,
and it was silly, but this is like a super serious, like dramatic take on it, and like a dramatic setting, and people are like talking about like reaching out to their loved ones, and it's like at this point I'm like, oh shit, she's gonna be like a main character of this show, if not like a takeaway from the show. So that was like a pretty exciting reveal to me.
Man, I got chills after that scene. Like,
dude,
she finds out her mom died like 3 years ago, and she's just like trying to figure out what happened. She's like, like when you disappeared, and then it cuts to the Marvel like intro song. I was just like, oh, it gave me chills. Like, I have chills right now just thinking about it. So cool.
Josh, we didn't really mention it, but maybe we should. How the episode 3 ends with after the Ultron thing is Wanda like flips out and like teleports her out of we don't know what, but like a bubble thing. But also, like, to piggyback on what PK said, man, I'd like imagine like the worst thing ever is you are in a hospital bed with your sick mother who's getting better, and then in your eyes you fell asleep for like 15 minutes, but you really disappeared for 5 years, and you come back, you're in the same seat, and your mom's gone. You find out she was dead 3 years ago. That's just like the biggest mind, like ever. It's just crazy. It's like Picky said, it's like so good.
It's the biggest mind.
Something.
Shut your mouth.
I'm glad they don't show what really would be happening, which would be hundreds of thousands of people falling out of the sky into the hospital. Yeah. But yeah, that's what it would be. Planes, people dying. But
well, the people were in planes and they flipped back. It's like, what happened to them?
Right, that's what I'm saying. They would all go back to where they were, which would be in the sky, falling down to their death. So,
well, even further than that, I feel like the Earth in its axis wouldn't be in the exact same spot in space. So these people would probably just reappear in space and like freeze to death, like Ebony Maw.
Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Well, okay, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I want to come to you, Josh. Like, what an incredible, rich lore the MCU has developed now. You know what I mean? This is the daughter of a character who we saw in another movie, and we're seeing the events that happened in a different movie and like how that played out for her. And is this not objectively better than just bringing back Luke Skywalker?
Definitely.
Yeah, I guess so. But to be honest, I didn't really get all the references, and it still worked for me. So I guess yes on
even more a
different
testament
levels.
to it.
Yeah, I think so. I wanted to get to Kat Denning too. She's in this episode, and she kind of cracks the code and discovers this TV show WandaVision that's emanating from
Darcy from Thor.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the original Thor movie?
I have, but it was long ago.
It's not great.
Fill me and any audience members in. Like, who is she? What's she doing?
It's better than the second one.
Yeah.
So her name's Darcy, and she's on the original Thor crew with like Natalie Portman and Skarsgård. I can't remember his character's name. But yeah, she's like kind of an expert in like astrophysics, and they set up this like huge camp in like less than 24 hours, and she's just like, they're kind of treating her like shit, but she's obviously really smart. And we also forgot to mention my boy Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, he's funny.
From Ant-Man and the Wasp. He finally figured out that magic trick, which is so cool.
That was really funny.
But yeah, they're at a sword like base camp, and they're slowly starting to figure out the very strange situation that's happening.
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to my question that Pappy ignored about 5 minutes ago. Like,
what was that?
Do you not see this episode being like a series of reveals that they do very well, from the wavelengths Kat Denning sees that make the TV show. The guy with the bees is explained. The show, like all the missing people on that board.
Yeah, the drones that they fly in are explained too.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's like better than the usual suspects, honestly. Like, because it's more drawn out and more fleshed out. Yeah, and I don't know. I really like that aspect of it. I thought it was done extremely well, and bringing back. Kat Dennings, what's her character's name?
Darcy.
Great call, because she's like such a, I don't know, she was a really snarky, underused character from like what most people say like the 2 worst Marvel movies. I don't know, I feel like people get pumped, right? Just PK, were you excited to see her come back?
Well, unfortunately, it got kind of ruined for me because they keep posting like trailers and promos for the new episodes, and I saw her on like a thumbnail. But yeah, it was just like, oh shit, like she's back, like that's cool. And like same with Jimmy Woo, it's like you would never expect that guy to be in this show, and I think they had a pretty good dynamic this episode.
I was doing an impression of him during the spoiler at the beginning of this episode. Very poor.
Jimmy Woo, was it like Pappy's impression during Too Fast, Too Furious?
No.
We're gonna add another level to the patron, where if you pay $50 a month, you can hear the unedited Pappy Fast and Furious impression. But
oh man,
not available for public consumption right now. Sorry, Josh.
Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, Nurse Malcolm's gonna subscribe to that level just to be able to yell at you. I don't know. I think the biggest last thing that happens in this episode is Scarlet Witch kind of seems evil at the end here.
Mm-hmm.
She's dealing with her grief, I think, with a vision, and they show a really scary shot of him mid-conversation dead with the Mind Stone torn out.
Man, that was cool.
Oh, that was crazy.
So creepy.
We referenced how the very first dialogue moments in this whole series are Vision saying, my wife and her flying saucers, so like a reference to her powers, and then my husband and his indestructible head, and it comes back here again in a really freaky way. Do you guys think, yes, this is just like a series about grief and how she's dealing with it? And what lines do you think she's going to kind of like cross here as she like tries to keep people out of her reality?
Like, I don't know, her power's just about limitless when she loses it. I mean, she could do whatever. She'd go crazy.
I feel like she's not alone though. Like, I got some bad vibes from the director of Sword.
Yeah, he's kind of sketch. Tyler Hayward.
Is there a sword and a shield in this show? Swords and shields.
Yeah.
Sword's like a space version of S.H.I.E.L.D., which apparently Maria Rambeau created, Monica's mom. And when she shows up to Sword, you see like a little plaque with her mom on it. It says Maria Photon Rambeau, which is like one of her nicknames, but that's actually Monica Rambeau's like superhero name when she becomes a superhero, which is kind of cool. Which I think, maybe she could get her powers from this when Wanda threw her out somehow. I don't know.
A chance for Captain Monica Rambeau to show her quality.
Did we answer your question? Whoever asked one?
I don't know. It was super open-ended. I'm just trying to get... I just think there's some like large issues there with Scarlet Witch going crazy.
I do have 2 questions that PK, like I don't want to like get things spoiled like you keep getting spoiled.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm on YouTube way too much.
I must have missed it. What's the whole thing about witness protection? What was that about? Or is that just the albatross or whatever, the MacGuffin that got them there? Or are they looking for someone?
I think that still definitely needs to be resolved because
I don't
even.
Is it Wanda?
Who knows who it could be? Like, because I saw something where it's like that Agnes chick. She always references her husband Ralph, but we've never seen him before. So it's like something's going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
And like, kind of to answer Brett or Josh's question, and to go along with Pappy, like at the end of the episode, Geraldine or Monica said, "It's Wanda. Like, it's all Wanda."
Yeah.
I think that's partially true, but I think it could kind of be like a bait and switch, like a true evil power trying to manifest themselves through her kids or something. Like something's obviously like kind of influencing her to. I don't think she would just make herself pregnant and then all of a sudden like make it happen in a day. Like I don't think that's what she really wanted. But so I think there are some deeper layers that we haven't figured out yet. I think they're just trying to make it look like Wanda's the real bad guy, which she probably will become a bad guy. Like by the end of the show, but she's not like a true villain because I think, like Josh says, she's dealing with grief, and it's like I think a true evil power is like taking advantage of that.
Like Willow and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Hi. Willow, right? Why? I mean, hi. Did you want me to move?
Yep. So all my Buffy people know what that's about. Who are all the actors they're talking about? Those people that are also missing? Like they're like, oh, Agnes is this. Like they're putting them all on the board. Who are those people?
I think there is a town that's actually like the whole town has gone missing, and it's like the people that live in the town, and then actually Agnes is the only one that they
say the town doesn't exist.
Yeah, I thought those are missing people from around the region, and so my mind wanders. Does Wanda, like, was she kidnapping people to like insert into this cartoon reality, you know?
I wonder if you're right.
I wonder that too.
That's a good point.
But also, like, she could potentially have some type of power to like somewhat mind control people outside of it too, since it's so close to the edge. Like, she could have had some sort of influence on those cops because they just kind of seemed like they didn't know what the frick was going on. It's very intriguing.
It's funny that I had the exact same read as you, PK. I thought they were like residents of Westview, New Jersey. But maybe. What Josh says makes sense too. I just don't know how bad Wanda is.
The cops are like, oh, we're from Eastview.
Yeah,
like,
that doesn't exist.
That just doesn't sound real. But and kind of like what Brett was saying, like Agnes, she's actually the only one when they pull out from that board that they don't have an identity for.
You had said that you thought maybe she was the bad person. Yeah,
I think she's doing some of the influencing too somehow.
What if she's that powerful girl from New Mutant and she's got Wanda in her thing and she's trying to set her up for her biggest fear, which is Vision dying. Oh. I doubt that's going to happen because that didn't do very well.
Do you guys think it's actually like Vision's dead body that she's somehow controlling?
She's Weekend at Bernie'sing him all around Westview.
No.
That'd be pretty wild.
You know what? Catherine Hahn, the actress who plays Agnes, she makes that perfect face, like smiling, but it's the fakest, soulless.
Oh, yeah. She's like that. That's like her typecast.
It's so entertaining.
What do you think the bees are? Is that like the manifestation when something comes from the outside that shouldn't be there?
It's weird because she goes like, all she says to him is like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, also, we never see what happens to him because, like, you know, we find out that she's like, quote unquote, censoring the broadcast. There's that scene with Rambeau where she like shoots her out.
If you're keeping track at home, that's 2 aggravated assaults on an officer that Scarlet Witch has committed so far in the series. Like, how far will she go?
It's okay. She's white. She won't face any repercussions.
Also, something that kind of goes along with that censoring thing, like there's part in episode 3 where she says something to Vision and he's just kind of like, he almost seems like something weird is going on and he's starting to like, yeah, there's something, maybe I don't think there's something right with this place. And then all of a sudden it just like has a hard cut back to him. So I like rewinded 10 seconds. So I was like, did something just like, did my computer just skip or something? But
she's censoring him too, maybe.
I'm so pleased you mentioned that, PK, because the editing is fantastic. And I love all those rewinds that we get. But something that's got me like just crawling and hanging on every detail of the dialogue between them is knowing that in the background, like, Wanda is Vision or something.
Yeah.
And so she's talking for him, being him. It's just a really interesting aspect of the show, I think. It's kind of off-putting, though, too.
She's noticing all the crazy things that are happening, and then when he starts, she, like, assuages his fears. When you think about it, like you said, she's playing him. She's probably him. Her subconscious is him, but like she's even trying to calm what you consider herself through Vision. So yeah, like, cause he starts to be like, oh, this is weird. And she's like, oh no, it's fine. She knows something's going on, but like a different part of her is warning another part of her.
Well, it's like even in that last shot too, like when they cut to the couch, like at the very end of the actual episode, like Vision is looking like all freaked out. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of got this like weird look in his eyes, like looking around a little bit.
And then he puts on like a little fake smile.
Yeah.
Oh, everything's okay. Yeah, it's interesting.
That's cool stuff. I have one more question for you, Josh, real quick.
Sure.
Do you, since I wasn't there for the pacing conversation, I just checked, like in episode 3, there's only like 25 minutes of content. Like if you take out the credits and you take out like the intros and stuff, which is like, 50% less at least than like a typical Mando episode. Some Mando episodes are way longer. Does that bother you at all? Do you wish that we were getting a little bit longer? I was surprised at how short these were. I was able to watch them all in a night.
It doesn't. I kind of like the short format, to be honest. These episodes are great. I'm like ruining my yes or no, but something we hit on it earlier in the pod too is this show just kind of makes you want more. We want more I Love Lucy. We want more Bewitched. We want more runtime, but that's the sign of a truly great show, is something that you want more of and you can't wait till it comes out next week, So I don't know, for that. The credits are super long though too, Pappy. What's up with that? Like 15-minute credits on these boys.
Yeah. Well, I watched like to the end the first time. I was like, oh, I can't wait for the post-credit scene. I forgot it was in a TV show. There must be one. Like a spoilers episode. How can there be 10 minutes left? They're doing yes or no's. What do they talk about after this?
All right, Pappy. Yeah, you're up.
Yeah. Hard yes to both. Just more broadly, since this is my first episode on, I don't. Age of Ultron is actually like my least favorite Avengers or like MCU movie. I really don't like it, and I always associate it with like Scarlet Witch and Vision. So I was very like not into this show when I heard it announced, but I have completely blown away by it. Like all 4 episodes would be hard yeses, but these last 2 especially. Love that they're in color. Love that I feel like they opened it up, like literally the aspect ratio and like the storytelling at the exact right time. Really cool, like flashbacks to other parts of the lore that we already know about. Just, man, I love it. I'm really blown away. This might be my favorite TV show that we've done on here, literally ever. This or Rick and Morty, I think, are probably my favorite 2 TV shows we've ever done on here. So far, hard yeses for me.
Yeah, definitely hard yeses for me too. The opening scene of episode 4 was like so freaking cool. Just the fact that they linked it with Thanos and Endgame and Infinity War, and then just a couple other things real quick. Like I mentioned Mephisto, and he's rumored to be one of the bad guys in the show. He's like basically the MCU version of the devil. In the intro of episode 3, the color, that intro, Vision's reading a book about pregnancy. It's red, and the guy on the cover looks very devilish. You don't really see what he actually looks like. It's kind of like a silhouette, and it looks like he's got like this like big collar, like a cape. I saw something that could be a first like sighting of him or something. But yeah, this show's it's getting better and better each episode, and I'm very excited to see where it goes and how crazy it gets. And the fact that you mentioned Luke Skywalker earlier, I read a quote from Elizabeth Olsen saying she's excited that there's apparently going to be a cameo at some point this season that's like on par with the Luke Skywalker cameo in Mandalorian. So I have my theories, but I'm not going to spoil them here because I don't want to be super wrong, but I'm excited about it.
Go ahead, Brett.
First of all, PK, it's so weird. I'm looking at a picture of Mephisto as you were describing the silhouette, and I was like, oh my god, he's literally describing the picture I'm looking at. But yeah, this is definitely a hard yes for me too. I think it's a testament to how awesome this is, that is like amazing and dope as episode 4 was. Like I was like pining for more like episode 1, 2, and 3. Now, I mean, obviously 4 was awesome, and like I think Pappy brought up, they were going back and explaining the radio, talking to Wanda, and explaining the helicopter or the droid and all that stuff. So it was super necessary and it was super cool. But like I desperately wanted like it to go like 4 or 5 so we can get back to, oh well, now we know all this. I want to see it again. I want to watch it again through that perspective. But it's just super, super awesome. Yeah, I wish it would go on longer, but at the same time, like I agree with you, Pappy. It's like perfectly paced. It's just didn't mean to say it wasn't. I just wish it would go on forever, but it's really, really awesome. Like super awesome. It's definitely yes for me.
Brett, what if the show that they like remade for the mid 2000s was like Psych?
I would love it so much.
That's such an inside baseball joke.
Look, if I understood what you guys were saying, I'd still be a virgin.
It worked.
But this is Josh from Goshen, and I'll just give this a hard yes. I think this theme of like grief and Wanda dealing with that and maybe being evil for a while is just a really interesting place for a superhero story to go. We said a lot on the pod, and I agree with all of it. So I will just say yes for both episodes. Before we go out, just so that listeners can learn some new information, I'd like to do a super quick trivia to see who will toss us out.
8'3". Oh.
We'll go west to east again. According to Quartz Magazine.
With a Q?
Sure.
How does it spell?
They have a range. QZ.com.
Okay.
They have a range for how many total Marvel characters there are.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. That middle number of the range is what you're looking for.
350.
Wait. Say that one more time, Josh. Like
how many Marvel
characters total?
Yeah.
Or in the MCU?
The website it comes from is not important. Just
it's not important at all, but I like to base those there because like sometimes people are like, well, I saw on Wikipedia that it's just according to QZ.com. There are this many characters in the Marvel's comics, PK.
Characters, not superheroes?
Yeah.
All right. He said 350. Then I'm going to go like, I'll say 500.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say 3,000. I mean, we're talking 75 years.
That's
Pat,
true.
would you like to change your guess?
What? No.
Are you sure?
He wants it to be 420.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to guess 420.
It's got to be thousands, guys.
According to QZ.com, Marvel Comics has a massive library of more than 7,000 characters, maybe as much as 50,000 if you count one-off ancillary superheroes, villains, and other mutants. So
I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking like main superheroes when I guessed. That makes a lot of sense, though.
I wasn't, and I'm ashamed as your superhero correspondent.
Remember when I explained it further and then was like, hey, want to guess again?
I should have subscribed to Quartz.com and I would know. Not a sponsor.
When PK said 500 something, I was like, man, I was waiting for you to be like, oh no, Pappy, it's got to be like 1,000. And when you said that, I was like, dude, guys, it's like Marvel's been around for like 80 years. I mean, there's so many.
That makes sense.
I was hoping Pappy would change to 4,000, and then I'd give PK the option, and he would go to 5,000.
And I would have been like screwed.
No, I would have definitely done the Brett pick and went 4,001.
Well, Pappy, what else does Spoilers have coming down the pipe? And then after that, BK, you send it away, buddy.
All right.
I'm so glad you asked. Last episode on the feed was Tiger, the HBO documentary. Check that out. But coming down the pipe, we have Serious Man from the movie game. And then we have a whole effing slew of Patreon requests. So starting off with a movie from 2020, a recent movie. I'll wait till announce it until it comes out, but very excited. I thought the episode was a lot of fun. And then, more of those to come. And then way down the pipe, we did record our Jack and Jill episode, so that might drop on you at any time. Be ready for that.
I'm embarrassed, guys.
About what?
What happened?
It's not my finest moment. I've been like embarrassed about that I gave that movie a yes.
Oh.
Oh, spoiler alert for Spoilers. Come on.
Brett gave Jack and Jill yes. So, Pat, just to sum up, we have Spoilers Punishment movies coming. We have Patreon movies coming. And those are new and awesome.
Correct, yeah.
Tell them all.
So you can, for $5, only $5, we're starting to realize how problematic that might actually be. You can take hours and hours of our time and we'll watch the movie. We'll produce a full-on episode about the movie. I won't say who picked what, but I will say coming down the pipe we have the book.
Oh, no more. Don't do any more. ...
So
very I'm gonna bleep those out in post. I don't want people to know.
That would be funny. Do that. Yeah, that's
I like
great.
It. Yeah, the lore. But yeah, coming down the pipe. Back to you, Josh/Brett.
It's all you, Brett.
All right, take it away, Spoiler Man.
Spoiler Man here. please consider going to patreon.com/spoilerspodcast. Special thank you to our patrons, Nick,
Howdy, neighbors.
Druid King,
What did you say about Pietro?
Brother Brian,
He was killed by Ultron.
Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Spoilers is now available on Audible. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is Podcast Spoilers. It's lit.
I had a blue screen of death earlier. We never had one, but it like fixed itself.
Am I too loud?
Maybe a little bit. Fortnite's awesome though, and I know you
Yeah,
love it.
What do you know? Capital cuss word.
Haha. Fuck you, Brett. I'm kidding.
I don't mind it at all.
I thought it was funny because I was just like listening to the episode and then I was like, oh man, do I really swear that much?
You do, but
I don't think so. I've never noticed it. I feel like I say worse things though.
Because I get so excited.
And I think per capita, it's bad, but it doesn't bother me. And
I've
people
said like
obviously
more
you, so.
horrible things than PK.
Yeah.
All right,
For
let me
sure,
shut my
you
door
are-
and shit and I'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pappy, you are a terrible person.
Whoa.
No one's trying to argue that. Man.
Wait a second. Hey now. Yeah, I definitely have the best voice on the pod. What are you guys talking about?
That was Spoilers.